Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're just continuing with halachot of Siman Samet Gimel. Now we're going to be speaking about two different halachot. Number one is tiltul v'negiah in the candles of Shabbat. So we're talking about moving the candles of Shabbat. So we already mentioned previously that you're supposed to light the candles in the place where you're going to leave them, which means that wherever you're going to have the candles, you light the candles there. You should not light the candles and then start moving them from one place to another place. However, though, right, if right now a person do not accept upon himself Shabbat, so obviously for Ashkenazim, the second that they light the candles, they accept upon themselves Shabbat, so it's a problem. But for Sfaradim, let's say you do not come and accept upon yourself the candles, the Shabbat, by lighting of the candles, so you are allowed, right after lighting the candles, you're allowed to move them or even touch them, kal vachomer. Because remember that you're allowed to touch muktzeh, you're not allowed to move muktzeh. So here, because of muktzeh, you're actually allowed to move it because you didn't accept Shabbat. So as long as you didn't accept Shabbat, you could take the candles and move them to a different place. Sometimes people have it on the table, sometimes people b'chavana don't have it on the table, but you should have it where you're eating, and etc. So that's going to be halacha number one. The next halacha, which is Sif Tet Vav, is a very important one. What happens right now if a person comes to the Bet HaKnesset? He didn't realize and it's already late, and he wants to pray mincha, and they already accepted upon themselves Shabbat. So in such a case, Maran says, מי ששאל להתפלל מנחה בערב שבת, עד שקיבלו הקהל שבת, לא יתפלל מנחה באותו בית הכנסת. You can't pray mincha in that synagogue. Why? Because the second that since the kahal already accepted Shabbat, so automatically he cannot make a weekday, right, by coming and saying mincha. If he says mincha, that means it's not Shabbat. So the fact that they accepted upon themselves Shabbat, so that's it. So he says, so what is he supposed to do? He says, that's if he didn't accept Shabbat. But if he actually accepted Shabbat, so therefore he cannot actually come and say mincha at all. Which means like this. He comes to the Bet HaKnesset. If right now he didn't accept upon himself Shabbat, and they did, so obviously he cannot pray mincha when they're praying Arvit. It just doesn't work, because for them it's Shabbat, and for him it's weekday. So it doesn't work. But if he already answered Barechu, which means he accepted upon himself Shabbat, because he answered Barechu as well, so now he himself cannot pray mincha. Which means that even if he's going to leave the Bet HaKnesset and go to another Bet HaKnesset, or he's the second that he accepted upon himself Shabbat, now he cannot pray mincha anymore. Now he's going to have to pray two arvits. So it's very, very important just to pay attention, because sometimes, when you have two minyanim or things like that, so therefore a person comes, he answers Barechu, right? Whether it's because, for example, it was the Barechu of Aleinu Neshabeach from the first minyan, or Barechu of Arvit of the first minyan, and then he's going to start saying Shira Shirim, but he doesn't realize that if he's going to come and have in mind that he's just answering Barechu means that it's nighttime. So Barechu means that it's right now Shabbat. So if he's going to answer Barechu, now he has a problem that now he wouldn't be able to come and answer, right? He wouldn't be able to come to pray mincha. So it's very important to have this in mind. Again, there are some shittot that if you have b'chavana, don't want to become Shabbat, and you're just answering Barechu. But other people say that automatically, the second that you answer Barechu, you automatically accept upon yourself Shabbat, and now you cannot do anything else afterwards. So therefore, just have this in mind also on the night of Shabbat.